I'm going to make a very fast, very calm video about why I am afraid of Gerry and Cheri Bustos and the law enforcement and the government of my very own town, Rock Island, Illinois. Now, you'll notice that President Trump, in various appearances and in various news stories, has talked about the reason the MS-13 gang is thriving in our nation, literally taking over neighborhoods where you would least expect it. Hello, Redneck Ritz. I mean, it's not like I live in a bad neighborhood. I call it Redneck Ritz for the very reason it's a good describer. Let us put it that way. Doesn't mean my neighborhood is run down and the kind of place though where you'd expect this thing to be happening. Tell you that much. But there's 100 houses in it, so that's a great place to put a sleeper cell. At any rate, President Trump has talked about how these gang members are thriving because since they're not from here, they get off on some kind of a technicality where it looks like they were in trouble, and then they don't come back to be tried, and so they just continue to run around and commit these crimes. And in the case of corrupt Quad Cities, the MS-13 gang has radicalized some LGBT people, and you'll notice they've got marks on their necks. But this was going on in Southern California when I was tweaked out on crystal meth working for the Press Telegram of Long Beach. So that would have been, the meth started at the Advocate magazine, and then it continued into the Press Telegram of Long Beach. And then, of course, I moved to Detroit, and I stopped it. Then I moved back to Palm Springs, where the meth continued, and then it stopped when I moved here. But, of course, I dabbled in cocaine with the Bill Boom Group, and toward the end, we all stopped doing the cocaine because none of us could sleep on it at night. And I remember one person who is a professional and who would never want to lose his job, who is a lurker on social media, and he knows who he is, and I'm not going to say his name, but I am sure that smart person is, holy shit, man, I can't believe this crap's been going on. And he's probably not hanging out with none of them anymore. As I hope a lot of you aren't, those of you with jobs and brains. And I hope those of you that know I've been screwed over, that maybe liked me all along, and I'm not talking romantically, but if you like me romantically too, that's fine. There's got to be some normal, decent gay people in the Quad Cities who are neither corrupt homosexuals making money off the filth in this town, because that's one whole set of yous, and mostly in like municipal and government positions. Hey, I know who you are. You sit there and you smile and you be quiet and you pretend to be professional, and then you get on the gay hookup apps after you run your boyfriends out of town or whatever. Don't get me started, dirty gay people. I know all of you. I know all your stories. I know what you're doing. You know what you've done to me, and I'm not going to be nice anymore. So anyway, I'm afraid of Gerry and Cheri Bustos because Cheri's husband was appointed sheriff without an election, and now we have an immigrant gang running around town, and a lot of them were arrested before and then let go. And I know this because I've been monitoring the inmate list for 7 years, constantly and relentlessly. And my therapist will tell you this is true. So am I afraid of Cheri and Gerry? Of course. I mean, look, Cheri's famous comment to me one time, shortly after I moved back here, I'm going to tell you something, but if you ever say I said it, I'm going to say I didn't say it. She would use that disclaimer regularly. Cheri is in a zone of she's Cheri, she's in Congress, she's invincible, nothing will happen to her. She controls the newspapers, she controls the hospital, she controls the airport, she controls the jail with her appointed sheriff husband. Now, when you've got a Mexican MS-13 gang running around town and an appointed sheriff married to a member of Congress, and I know what I know. I hate to do this, but I'm going to sign off with one more thing. I feel that our city manager and our police chief in the city of Rock Island need to be fired and replaced immediately in the context of what I know and what happened to me. And Mike, you look pretty serious on the news. I'm the one, by the way, that's told every station your name is Tomes and not Toms. So you can thank me for that being fixed. Mike, you need to fire the city manager and the police chief. And yes, I know the city manager is a huge name. I went to Augustana too. Augustana's not clean in any of this. You need to fire the city manager and the police chief. And the Quad City Times, you need to shut your newspaper down before it's shut down, because you're dirty beyond belief. My mouth is dry. I don't have any cannabis and I'm upset. I got a lot of LinkedIn Profinder requests. I'm hoping one of those comes through. I need some money like right now today, not only for my cannabis, but I mean, hell, my bills are paid right now, but the bills don't stop coming. I'm hoping I land like a long-term writing gig where maybe I'll get a down payment. There's a couple people, about 3 actually, that have reached out to me on LinkedIn Profinder regarding books. And one of them is a book about youth sports. And I'm really excited about possibly landing that gig because I know more about youth sports than a lot of people might think. And I explained all of that in the pitch. But I also played youth sports. I was very active in youth soccer back before youth soccer became huge. I think it was kind of just catching on back then in Rock Island on the park board. I remember all the Johannes kids played soccer. There was like 7 of them, and they all played. And that family runs the bus system, and they were all just the nicest kids everywhere. So anyway, now I've totally switched back to the positive, and it's a good spot to end then. Have a good day. I would really appreciate some work. I do excellent work. I would really, I'd appreciate $15 in my online tip jar. Somehow I'm going to need to find a pre-roll today. And I know my family from Edgewood Baptist Church won't help me. They've never helped me with anything. My Aunt Enid won't help me. She's a frickin' millionaire in East Moline down the street from Gerry and Cheri. Nobody will help me. Some people will, though. I would never say where my help is coming from. Something terrible might happen to them. Have a good day, everyone.